God, all right. How many know we got to learn how to be good listeners? Sometime when we tuning stuff out, that's the very time we need to be tuned in. Because there is a word that may be tailor-made just for you. In 2 Kings, the fifth chapter, and first through the 15 verses, it reads that Naaman, he was a captain of the host of the Syria, king of Syria. He was the captain of the army. He was a great man. Somebody said great man. With his master. His master looked up to him. Honorable. He was an honorable man. Because by him the Lord had given deliverance to Syria. He was also a mighty man of valor. But he was a leper. I want to talk to you about a big man in bad shape. A big man in bad shape. Oh, y'all quiet on me. It could be a big woman. When you say man, it's woman in bad shape. I had a young, just the other day I was looking at something and I saw this 6'6", 305-pound lineman got drafted in the first round. But when they had the combine and when they went to camp, he got tested and his heart was bad. He went to several doctors and they said, nothing we can do. He could have possibly been a billionaire, but he had a bad heart. He was a big old man, but he was in bad shape. Can I get a witness here? There was a man in Mark chapter 10, verse 17 through 22 who came to Jesus running and kneeled down to him and asked him, hey, good master, a good teacher. I need to ask you something. What shall I do that I may inherit eternal life? He's a big man, but he's in bad shape because look what he said. Jesus said, you know, why callest me good? Ain't none good but God. Then Jesus says to him in verse 19, he said, you know the commandments. And you need to love your neighbor as yourself. Don't commit adultery. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't steal. Don't bear false witness. Honor thy father and mother. He said, wait a minute. I kept all that stuff since I was a child. But I've done what America says success is. I've climbed the ladder of success. I've set some goals for myself, and I've reached my goals. I've gotten to where I need to get. I've invested my money, as they say, invested, and I'm getting great return on my money. I'm loving folks around me. I even have a barbecue every now and then and invite neighbors over. I let them swim in my pool. I let them hunt on my land. Ain't God all right? I got people who works for me, and I give them good wages because I own my own company. But Jesus says one thing. He said one thing, thou lackest. You're a big man. You've climbed the ladder of success, but I want to ask you one question. Can you sail everything you got and give it to the poor and take up your treasure that's in heaven. It's all right to have stuff, but you can't have a bad heart. You can't let stuff control you. You have to control stuff. Can I get a witness here? He was a big man, Brother Whitfield, but he had a bad. Oh, y'all don't want to hear me. Ain't God all right? He was looked up to in the community, but he had a bad heart. Nothing I have ain't too good. That I can't lose it if it comes to God. God all right. When it comes to God, he comes first. See, if you can't make him first in your life, if your success ladder is first in your life, you're on the road to failure. Are y'all listening to me? See, God wants you to be successful, but he's got a plan for your life. Jeremiah 29:11 said, God knows the plans for your life. You can't make your own plans. You got to follow God's plan for your life. And when you don't follow God's plan for your life, you're going to be miserable. You're going to keep on chasing after the wind. If you're chasing after the wind, you're going to be miserable. The big man with a bad heart. I knew a player that was 6'11", could have been a billionaire, but he went to camp and got tested for drugs. One of the best players I've ever seen, but he never played. Not a whole year in the NBA because he had a bad habit. A big man, 285 pounds, 6'11". Come on. But couldn't be successful because he couldn't cut this loose. Naaman, let's talk about Naaman. This story here is a fairy tale. It's like a fairy tale. I'm going to preach in here in a few minutes. It was a fairy tale with a good ending. Naaman was a mighty man of valor. He had climbed to success. He had won for Syria, put them on the map. Every time Deacon Patterson and Naaman walked in a room, somebody whispered, there go Naaman, y'all. I want to get his autograph. I want to get to meet Naaman. I want to take a picture with Naaman. I want to get on Facebook and say, that's who I am. Put it on Facebook that I met Naaman. Even he had the king's hand. King loved Naaman. But he was a big man. But he had a bad heart. I wish I had some help here. He was in bad shape. He was in bad shape because he had leprosy. His body was deteriorating. Do you not know that in this storyline, I got to tell you that it's always some characters. We have Naaman, the captain of the Syrian army. We have a captive slave girl. We have the king. We have Gehazi, Elijah's servant. We have Elijah's other people that were with him, and then we have Naaman's friends that were with him. But they are the main characters. But there's one character here that's implied. He's not the main character. I tell you what he does. He sits on your pew and whispers in your ear and say, church is too long. Because he drapes himself. That's why he's implied he ain't the main character. You can't see him in the story, but he's there. Whenever the sons of God come to present themselves before God, he comes along also. When you came to church this morning, you said, I brought Jesus with me, but guess what? He came also. I ain't called his name yet, but you know who he is. He's a deceiver. He goes around seeking whom he may devour. I hadn't called his name, but you know who I'm talking about. He's cunning, he's crafty. He makes you think you're more than what you are. Oh, y'all don't want to hear me. He make you treat other folks like they ain't nobody. You know who I'm talking about. I ain't called his name yet, but you know him. He comes on your job in sheep clothing, draped in darkness. You can't see him. He look good, but he's cunning and crafty, seeking how he can tear you down. You know who he is. I ain't called his name yet. Yes, he walked in the Garden of Eden, behind Eve. Says, take a bite of the fruit. It ain't gonna hurt you. It's just gonna make you better. You know who he is. I ain't even called his name yet. I wish somebody would call his name real loud. Oh no, y'all don't want to call his name. Satan, the devil. He's implied in this story. Naaman, we talked about him, but there is a young lady that Naaman went in to fight and captured this girl in Syria and brought her back to be a slave. They didn't even give her a name, but she was captive and a slave in the house. But she didn't let her captivity define her. Let me tell you something, young people. I'm going to find you today. Don't let your circumstance or your situations or your past define who you are. I don't care what you find yourself, stick your chest out, reach down on the inside of you because you got some qualities. I don't care how people treat you. There's some gifts and abilities in you that if you nurture them, if you fertilize them, if you sit here and meditate and believe in yourself. How many know just because it happened to you, somebody sitting here right now, you captive of what happened in your life? It could have been your mom died while you were young. Now you got to rely on somebody else, and now you're sitting here being captive of that. She didn't have anybody. Here she is somewhere where she don't even know these people, but yet with her head up, living a victorious life. Because he comes in, she see him sick, she see him dying, and you know when you got problems in your life like Naaman had, those problems go off on somebody else. I don't care who you are, what you got, how much money you got, and you get to your job, your problem start affecting other people because you're carrying them around with you. You wonder why that boss snapping on you? Because he got some issues. You know why they treat people mean? Because they can't get themselves together. They are hurting on the inside because they look big, because they're in position out here. But when they get home in the wee hours of the night, their life is deteriorating because they in bad shape in their inner being. They look big in front of you, but they in bad shape. Can I preach in here this morning? Ain't God all right? They're in bad shape because they hadn't come to the conclusion of who God is. He is in the household. He's deteriorating. He's deteriorating. And she sees him. And she said, Master, I would to God that you would go to the prophet in Israel. I would that you would go to Pleasant Grove. Ain't God all right? You coming in here every day looking like you're looking, come to church with me Sunday. I don't care how you feel and what your situation is, you need to start thinking about who God is. You need to do something for God. In the midst of your trials, in the midst of your trouble, can you testify to somebody? Can you tell somebody that the God I serve is able to do anything? Yes, she is captive and slave, but guess what? They didn't even call her name. They just said a slave girl. She didn't live the slave girl mentality. Some of y'all living the life that happened to you. Oh, you don't want to hear me. Don't you live what has happened to you. I don't care how you got abused. I don't care how you got misused. I don't care who walked away from you. I don't care who hurt you. Don't live that life. Find yourself where you are and begin to step up and start doing something positive with your life. Find a way to serve. She said, I'm not just a slave, I'm a child of God. You can treat me any kind of way, but I got a word for you. You can not like me, but I got a word for you. You can bring me into slavery, but I got a word for you. You can walk away from me, but I got a word for you. I would to God, Master, that you will get to my prophet in Israel. But since he was so close to the king, he gets himself together and he gets silver and all kinds of gold and everything and saddle up. He goes to the king of Syria because the king, he got the king's ear. So he get to the king and the king says, I need you to go to the king of Israel. Ain't God all right? Let him help you out. So he goes to the king, get there, and when he got there, the king got angry. You know, people get angry when they can't help you. You ever seen people get, because they can't solve a problem, they just get mad. See, the king knew he couldn't solve the problem. This man got leprosy, he's going to the wrong. But one thing about Naaman, he did proper protocol. Can I teach you something today? Wherever you are, always follow protocol. Oh, y'all don't want to hear me. On your job, don't go to the main man. Go to your immediate supervisor first. Y'all don't want to hear me. Do not run trying to, you know, he tried to trick. Guess what? They're going to get together on you. First of all, I see a problem. They will meet now. I see a problem, but one thing about it, I'm not going to help them because they didn't respect you. While you thinking they ain't not together, they are together. I don't care. They want you to come in there and talk about what you're talking about. They're going to let you, they're going to hear you, but when you leave there, there's going to be another meeting. I wish I had some help here. Young people, learn the protocol. I don't care where you are. In the church, learn protocol. Don't go to the deacons first about something the ushers were doing. Go to the usher. Can I get a witness? You can't get it solved with the usher, then go to the deacons. Don't come to me and bypass the deacons. If they can't get it solved, then the deacon will say, Pastor, we got a problem. And if they don't solve it right when you came to them, then I will come in and say, why'd y'all treat this woman like this? I wished I had about 5 people in here that said, learn. Look at your neighbor and say, learn protocol. See, in order to have unity, there has to be structure. Naaman, what I like about him, he's in bad shape, but he knew protocol. He would have never been successful in his occupation if he didn't know protocol. He was a mighty warrior. He knew protocol. He went to the king first. The king couldn't do it. Then that's when the prophet says he heard about it. He said, that's why I know God want to show that he's God. God, you know, a lot of things happen so God can show that he's God. In your life, a lot of things happen so God can show that he is God and nobody can operate without him. You can't move without him. You can't live without him. God is going to be God. And said now he takes and he leaves the king all mad and rent his clothes off and everything because he can't do nothing. You know, when you all big and bad and if there's a situation you can't handle, guess what? Now you're mad. Why are you mad? It's out of your hand. But he's in bad shape, but he goes to the front door. In verse 9, he goes to the front door of Elijah. Came in all his horses, stood at the front door. Let me tell you, if you want a blessing, you got to come to the door. Jesus says, I am the door. He said, you come unto me, all you that laden and heavy laden, and I'll give you rest. He came to the right place. How many know you can't go no other way? He came to the door of Elijah and said to Elijah, look what he says. He sent a message unto him saying, go and wash in Jordan. That's what Elijah told him to do. Ain't God all right? And your flesh going to come up on you. But you know a lot of time when the man of God tell us to do something, it sounds stupid. It sounds crazy. Oh, healing is in the place. Come down to the altar. I wonder what's going on this morning. I wonder, is it God? I would go, but I ain't sure. I wished I had 5 people. A lot of time opportunities come our way and we miss them. Come to the altar. He said, go in Jordan. Guess what he said? He sent the message to him, said, go dip in Jordan. Then he said, Look at that. He got mad. All I told him to do was just pray for me and my family. He gonna call me up to the altar and get that bottle of oil with big old hands and oil run all down him. Oh, you ain't healed. Your family ain't blessed because you already made a mess out of it. Can I get a witness? He got mad and went away and said, behold, I thought, because I'm a big man. I am a big man. I pay the most money in the church, and I know he ain't going to slap no oil on my head like he do everybody else. All I ask him to do is just keep me in your prayers. You'll never get too big for God. Ain't God all right? He got wrong. He said, I surely thought he'll come out and stand and call on the name of the Lord. Oh, Lord, come on down. I got Naaman here. You know who Naaman is, God. You know. Naaman is a big man. Oh, Naaman gave us $50,000 last year. But Naaman ain't no bigger than nobody else. I don't care who you are, low is the way. How many know humility brings obedience? Can I get a witness in here? Humility brings obedience. He got all mad and was all angry. But you know what I like about his friends? They had to be real good friends. I wouldn't keep nobody around me that wasn't like them. They go to Naaman and they say to Naaman, look what they say to Naaman in the script. They say to Naaman, I understand who you are. We've been obeying you. You command us to go here, go there. And they spake to him and said, my father, you're a big man. They call him my father. Go ahead. Just keep it there. My father, if the prophet had bid thee to do some great thing, y'all don't hear me. If he would have told you, I want all that gold you got, and all that, you'd have threw it on the altar. But he's trying to tell you to do something simple, something stupid. Wouldst thou not have done it? How much rather then when he said to thee, wash and be clean? Let's get in this Jordan. Little river here is muddy. Anybody know what Jordan is? Jordan is where Joshua crossed over Jordan. Jordan is where Jesus was baptized. He didn't know Jordan he was stepping in. Thank God, all right. But he said, you could have took me to these other rivers. Look what other rivers he said. He said, you could have took me to this great place over here where it's clear water. But God tell you to go to this nasty water. You could have took me to Abana, rivers of Damascus, better than all the waters of Israel. These waters are better than any water. You could have took me to a big ministry where they had 1 million people if you're going to ask me to run around the building. You're going to tell me to run at Pleasant Grove? Now, if I went to one of these big ministries where they had a big convocation, I would have ran. You're going to tell me to run in Pleasant Grove? I ain't even on TV. Ain't God all right? Somebody wave your hands and tell him thank you. But then, I like him because he humbled himself. He obeyed. Humility brings obedience, and he obeyed. And he went to the river and he dipped. 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. Somebody said, why 7 times? Because 99 and a half won't do. You can't halfway praise God. You can't halfway give to God. You can't halfway serve God. You can't halfway do nothing for God. He wants your all in all. Because God gave you his best. He wants the best for you. Why not give him your best? Why shortchange him when God didn't shortchange you? He gave you his only begotten son. 99 and a half won't do. Why not 6 times? Why 7 times? Because 7 means perfection. Oh, y'all don't want to hear me. When you get to 7, that means perfection in the Bible. Oh, I wish I had 3 people. I don't know about you, but I'm striving for perfection. Nobody's perfect, but I'm striving. You aim at the moon, you may fall among the stars, but you still up there. You set your goals low, you're going to always be low. Us can't do that, us can't do that. Us ain't going to never do nothing. You got to believe that I can, I will, and I will make it. You got to believe that God will make a way for you. And whatever he tells you to do, you do it with all your might. I remember Mary when they were sitting there and the wine ran out. He told them to fill the water pot with water. She said, whatever he tell you to do, do it. I don't care what it is, do it. Ain't God all right? There are some folks who made a mistake one night. I was in this place, and they didn't even believe in what they were saying, but you know how they get up and misses the ceremony, and they said somebody's going to come and going to do the welcome. The woman that was doing the welcome, she had written a welcome out. She says, you're welcome here at this church. And she kept on talking about you're welcome, and Jesus welcome, and then at the end she said, you're welcome to run. They didn't even believe in running. You're welcome to dance. You're welcome to shout. Whatever God tell you to do, do it. And then when I started shouting, because I said, boy, they really welcome me, because I don't need but 30 minutes, because by the time I get through praising, I ain't got but 30 minutes no way, because by that time I'm tired. I'm wore out dancing then. I got to go somewhere and sit down. Somebody fan me. You know how it is. You think you praise, you act like you. Holy Ghost will wear you out. Ain't God all right? Oh, so I ain't the only one know that, huh? You think y'all know what I'm talking about? You at at first you're getting it, all of a sudden, now you are like, ain't God all right? Yeah, I'm tired now, but I'm going to give him a praise, but I can't beat my feet no more. My head ain't he all right? I said, she done messed up now. She done gave me 30 minutes of praise. And then when I started shouting, everybody looking around. They like they wanted me to sit down, Brother Riley. You welcome me to do this. So I figured out then that's just a speech. That ain't what they believe. Ain't God all right? Naaman, he dipped all the way 7 days. I'm a 7-time person. Anybody been dipped? Oh, y'all don't want to hear me. I said, has anybody been dipped? William brother and Lee Williams sung a song. It's just like cooling water from grandma's well. Then they holler, anybody been dipped in that water? Psalms 46:4 says these words. I ain't got no Bible. I ain't got nothing. I'm preaching today. Psalms 46:4 said there is a river. Ooh. It said there is a river. Y'all don't want to hear me. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, I don't know about you, but there is a river. Y'all don't hear me. I don't know what you feel like, but there is a river. Don't take me nowhere else. Y'all find me. I ain't finding y'all today. Because there is a river. Ain't God all right? I wish I had about 5 folk that know there is a river. Well, when I was a young boy, Sister Mira, they took me down that Gillsbury Road, down on 568. Oh, Lord. Brother L.M. Robinson. Oh, I'm about to cry now. They baptized me in a little old muddy creek. Oh, Lord. Yeah, but after a while, as I got older, Sister Teresa, I kind of went away from what I know. But 1983, oh, Lord, great God. Ain't God all right? Oh, Lord, I feel like preaching here. There is a river. One Thursday night, oh, Lord, that river started coming back to my mind. You, oh Lord, you out here doing the wrong thing, and you know you've been down in that river. Well, if you don't believe I've been baptized, just follow me down to the river. Jordan River. Oh Lord, won't God heal you there? Naaman can tell you, when I went down that 7th time, I came up, I saw my skin coming back on my body. Oh Lord, when I went down that 7th time, I saw my hand look new. Oh Lord, when I went down that 7th time, I didn't feel big man no more. It humbled me down in that muddy water. I learned how to treat people like they need to be treated. Oh Lord, I learned how to love people that don't love me. I went down. Maybe you ain't been down that 7th time. You ain't got no completion. When you see me walking right, I've been down 7 times. Oh, I've been dipped down in that muddy water. Ain't God all right? When he got up, I heard him say, oh Lord, where is the man of God? I'm going to tell Elijah. You ought to hear me. One thing about it, oh Lord, when you truly been born again, you're going to tell somebody. Ain't God all right? When he went back to Elijah, he said, oh man of God, I got some money. I got some gold. I want to bless you. Thank you for healing my body. But I said, Elijah said, I don't need your money. Your money can't buy what Jesus did on Calvary Hill. Money can't buy. I heal my body. Money can't buy. I saved my soul. Money can't buy. I made me whole. Oh, money can't buy. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Money didn't give it to me. My car didn't give it to me. Oh, because I've been dipped. Somebody say, I've been dipped. If you've been dipped, shake somebody by the hand. Say, neighbor, I've been dipped down in that muddy water. My soul been converted. I feel all right. I feel all right. I feel all right. I feel all right. And every time I think about Jesus, I feel all right. I talked about that old draping devil. He was laying around. I heard him get in Gehazi. And when Elijah took no money, Gehazi, after Naaman left, Gehazi made up in his mind, and he was a servant in the church. He said, I'm going to Naaman. I'm going to tell Naaman, Elijah wants some of that money. Y'all don't hear me? Ain't God all right? He went to Naaman and told Naaman, Elijah wants some of that money. And when he got there, Naaman got down off the horse and gave him some gold, because he said it was 2 men that came looking. he got to go and put it on his donkey and went back and gave it to the two men and went into Elijah. When he went to Elijah, Elijah said, where you went? Hey God, all right. You can't fool the man of God. If you're working in the church, don't steal church money. Ain't God all right? Don't put your hands on God's money. Ain't God all right? He got the money. Elijah said, because you are covetous, you are greedy. He was so greedy. And the same devil that caused the leprosy that's on Naaman, it got on him. Let me tell you one thing, folks. When I'm praying for people, you better make sure you ain't saying nothing. You better make sure that the blood is covering you. Because that same spirit, that old evil spirit that's on that person, it can get off on you. You better watch out. Don't you get greedy. Ain't God all right? Ain't he 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 all right? Say yeah.